really hard to play. So my week last week. My week last week ended like this. Well, guess I won't be playing guitar for a little while. I omied my finger. Fantastic. Merry Christmas. And here we are, a week and a day later. And while it has improved, I don't know how well you can see this. it's a little bit closer to a finger looking shape now. When you put it in correlation, my left finger has a little bit of a bend, but a lot of that's swelling. I don't think it's going to be crookedness that's going to last. As I said, it's starting to turn, you can tell it's starting to get kind of, well, moot point. Anyway, what happened is we have these huge seat racks. They're wrought iron bars with wheels on the bottom, and they have posts on the top so you can stack them with these little cups on the bottom of each corner. So they fit into the posts on top so you can stack them. Yeah, these are those big cushion seats we have at the theater that are what do you call it? They're the big cushiony folding metal frame seats. They hold 28, 14 per side on a rack. Those racks, I don't know, they gotta weigh, 150, 200 pounds. I don't know how much those fucking things weigh. They weigh a lot. But anyway, last week, right before game times, a few minutes before doors, turns out we have a row of seats missing, so we got to slam in an extra row of seats. So I, like an idiot, jump in with the work crew to help out, get it done right before bar shift. And we had got all the chairs down. We were pushing the empty double racks back into place in the alley outside the theater. And one of them wasn't sitting right. The one corner wasn't sitting cup to post well. And the kid I'm working with was trying to kind of get it to fit. And I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of bent. Leave it. But he was like, nah, it's so close, I think we can get it. So, like an idiot, put my hand on the top bar, and we pushed it. And the whole thing jumped off the post, and the rack came down. So that bottom crossbar on the frame, wrought iron bar, came down on the wrought iron top bar where my hand was, like this kind of, holding on for bracing. So as that came down, which was funny because spider sense, that shit moved. I watched it jump and move in slow motion. And I pulled my hand out because I knew what was going to happen as fast as I could. And it came down so fucking hard. And I got so close. I think any other mere mortal would have came down and landed probably around here and either cut their fingers off or broke them, crushed their hand. You can look at it. You can look at the bruise on the tip of the pointer finger is in perfect line with the split under the nail. I just barely caught these two fingers, which is funny because, as you saw, I was fussing around the guitar. I figured, at this point, well, I could play minor chords. Or, I could play bar chords. Power chords. We went through that last week. So anyway. Torture, having all these guitars around. I can't really play them. So I'm finding other things to do. See this cool little ashtray that dear friend brought me back from Amsterdam years ago. Uh, I all the stuff that I find in the theater, in the smoking alley, and around the theater, I just pick up and bring home, and I'll find uses for them sooner or later on various guitars or whatnot. But I found this stupid little thing, Christmas snowflake thing, and I've decided I'm gonna glue it on the Ibanez, who's already bearing the marks of quite a few things I found laying around the theater, like the skull head switch, the pot leaves I found in the showcase. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. So, but the one I gotta file the back end of this. There's like a bump on the back. I gotta file down, but sooner or later, something's gonna have this on it. Found that. Somebody's handbag must have lost that shit. I need something to sniff some glue. Wrong glue. Give me a little glue on that. Using this expert technique of guitar modification. Let's see if I can drop it on the floor. Let me try that again. Spaz. So, anyway, so that rack came down slammed. And I remember pulling my hand away and knowing that it hurt a lot. First thing I could tell, well, fingertips there. I didn't Naomi it. It's still there, albeit it was completely flattened and facing about 2 minutes to midnight. And, all right. Yeah. Doesn't have to be pretty. Just has to be done. Yeah. Is that a good spot? Shift it a little bit. And then, wow. Let's see if we can wipe off some of the glue smear. What I really need to do is grab a Q-tip so I can focus a little better. So yeah, first thing I could tell, all right, fingertips still there. And then I'm like, all right, that's going to bleed. That's going to be a problem. I'm like, all right, let me jump in the lobby because 10 feet away, there is an ice machine and I'm going to need ice. And of course, I established that the knuckle bent, the top knuckle bent. I'm like, all right, knuckle's not broken. So that was my first assessment. So I start walking into the lobby to grab from the alleyway to grab to grab ice, and I'm wearing one of my battle flannels and my Sherman jacket over it. And as I start walking into the lobby, I just start getting hot. And yeah, so I just started getting very hot. So I just walked right past the ice machine and went right through the lobby to get outside to get on the bench in front of the showcase. And I remember I just whipped off my jacket, pulled my flannel off, went outside and sat on the bench because probably about 40 something degrees. So I sit down on the bench. A couple of people follow me out. You know, you're all right, you're all right, you're all right. And guitar I've played in a week. So I sit down on the bench, and the first people come up to me, I'm like, I need ice and water, because I'm starting to breathe fast. I know I'm just starting to kind of hyperventilate. I'm getting a little dizzy. I didn't get nauseous, which was weird, but and I didn't see the gray clouds. The gray smoke clouds didn't start billowing in, but I was worried about that. So I'm sitting on the bench, and one of the security guys comes out and sits next to me. Him and Chasko, my manager, grabbed the first aid kit and followed me out, which, in my dizziness, I actually thought Chaska was his, like, 3-year younger brother. Yelled at him to back up. Like, buddy, back up, I need air. Drinking the water, holding a bag of ice. And so the security guy starts talking to me. He's looking at it. He's just like, all right, can you bend it? And I was like, yeah, I can completely bend the top knuckle. So I think we're all right there. I was like, he's like, yeah, you got a good gash there. You should probably need a couple stitches. You're going to go to the ER. And all I'm thinking of, I'm going to go to the ER. It's going to cost me a lot of money for them to be like, well, there's not really a whole lot we can do for that. It's not really broken. We can spend your money on x-rays to tell you that you're really going to have to ice it and clean it out. And then they just would have done some very painful stitches in an open wound. So I was sitting there, and it took me a few minutes to kind of, he was like, just, breathe, count to 4 between your inhale and your exhale, which I tried to do. But it worked out that counting to 2 worked better at that time. So I counted to 2, I breathed, and then I started getting cold. So now I know, all right, I'm feeling the cold again. I'm coming down. So I put my jacket over me, and he was like, you going to go to the hospital? I was like, no, I'm going home. I figure I'm going to go to the hospital. They're going to give me codeine or ibuprofen codeine or some shit that's not really going to do enough unless I start drinking whiskey with it. Which is never a good idea. And, can I hold this cord? Nah, I can't. Not yet. I'll work on that. So, I'm like, nah, I'm going home, put this in ice, and might be able to find something better to take that might be laying around from when my mother broke her leg. So I just go home, and I guess it was about a third of the way home that the adrenaline wore off enough that the pain really started to kick in. Pretty much to the point that I was laughing as I drove because I really wanted to cry. So I get home, take a little something immediately, and just get a bowl of ice and water, and that's what I did for the rest of the night. You can tell by that video, it doesn't look like I'm really feeling a lot of pain. But yeah, it was a rough night. It bled. It kept oozing. But the way I saw it was, I'm going to soak it, and it's going to bleed freely. I'm hoping that'll clean the wound out enough. And so I'm not really seeing infection signs. So I think we're okay. But we'll see yet. But yeah, that was a rough night of sleep, because basically I had to sleep with my arm under my head, wedged between the bed, the headboard, and the pillow, and my head, because in order to keep it up, keep it elevated, and to get the bleeding to stop. It really bled well into Sunday afternoon. Like, not bled, but like oozed. It would ooze a bit.
Putrefying! Go rotten!
Yeah, it would ooze a lot. Heads do, but I can live with it.
The hardest part now, this tip is still pretty swollen, so I'm having trouble fretting chords using it. It's fat enough that it's killing other strings. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. That's how my week has gone. But I'll tell you what, after breaking my thumb a couple years ago on my right hand, which made guitar playing easy, but there's a particular biological function, be dirty-minded, that's very difficult to take care of with your opposite hand. And I had a lot of trouble for like 2 months with that. So, as gross as it sounds, you might want to practice switch hitting on that if you're going to be, because it's really hard to wipe your ass with your other hand. It really is. It is the most awkward and foreign thing you'll ever do to yourself. Maybe. I don't know. That case by case basis, depending on the person involved. But yeah. So I got to start practicing that because that was tough to do. Very, very, very tough to do. But beyond that, Merry Christmas. This is such a neat guitar, man. It's a shame I've completely covered up the quilted maple top. But it's got a pretty neat little maple neck on it. Not bad. Not bad for nothing. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to be able to play guitar improperly as I always did. And what kind of effects this is going to have going forward. Digitals. Get it? But right now it sucks. I can't play drums. With drums, I mean, I'm probably maybe another week or two out of being able to wrap that up and play. It's not even so much worried about contact to it. I mean, I could probably get away with the stuff we're doing with some traditional grip like that. That's a good idea, somewhat. But even just any kind of impact is just not going to fly right now. So I'm definitely probably a week or two out from playing drums again with Project 714. I want to thank everybody again for coming out to the very interesting room. Renegade, very interesting place to have a rock show. But we had a good time. People seem to dig it. I'm still getting some feedback from people, and it means a lot. It's a whole different wheelhouse for me, that project, for all of us, and I want to do the boss right on that, you know. So yeah. So, but yeah, thanks everybody coming out on that. Hopefully another couple of weeks we'll start practicing, and I'd like to do something with that band around the Ides of March. Keep tuned for that. You know, that one is, I can't use that finger to deaden it. This is bad. Real bad. So everybody have a good week. And see you eventually.
Welcome to Lenny Kaye's on Main Street. We're going to have a rocking time here tonight. My name Steve Trulio on the drums. This is our very first gig. There's going to be a lot of fuck-ups. So, you know, hey, what the hell? You're only a virgin once. So, have a good time all the time, like they say in Spinal Tap.